Hey, Diary of My Dad here. It's been a couple of weeks since my last video. Been a few reasons for that, which I'm gonna kind of talk about now in this video. So the first thing is I've actually had a bit of a massive head cold, and it's taken a while to kind of shift it. Didn't really want to do videos sneezing and spluttering all over the place because that's not a good look. um, the other couple of reasons. So May is in the last couple of years now has been quite a difficult month. Basically, we lost a close friend 2 years ago in May. Some of you may have actually heard about it on the news and various other bits and pieces. But I was close to a girl called Amie RIP. She was a really close friend to us for probably nearly 20 years now. In May 2024, she was on the beach close to here, and just chilling out with a friend, and it was in the evening. I think they were actually on a date, and a chap decided that he was going to stab them. I've repeatedly stabbed them as well, and yeah, Amie lost her life fairly instantly after being stabbed 10 times, one of which went straight through her heart, unfortunately. So yeah, it's May's not an easy month. Obviously for her family, we know her family really well. Her older brother is a very close friend of ours. Her other brother is also a good friend. And although I don't know her youngest brother that well, obviously her mum, we also know very, very well. And I can't imagine, every May how they feel. I know how I feel, I know how my wife feels. And it's something that you kind of struggle to come to terms with, because there was no rhyme or reason for it. She wasn't killed for any specific reason. It was just a person who wanted to know what it was like to kill someone, and Amie was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Luckily, the other girl survived, which is fantastic. I have met her, and although I didn't really know what to say to her, she has my heart, because she also has to relive that over and over. She was stabbed even more times, 20 times, but mostly in the back. And thankfully she pulled through and survived after obviously a long stay in hospital, poor girl. So yeah, it's not an easy thing to talk about. It's not an easy thing to kind of discuss. Mental health is it's kind of a bit of low, I guess, as you can imagine. When it first happened, and we found out, we just come back from a night out in London, going to a gig. Myself and my wife and two friends, we'd just seen Five Finger Death Punch in London. We'd just come home the day after, and it's on that morning, on the Saturday morning, that we found out, because she was killed on the Friday night. And disbelief. I called some of our other friends who may not have known, and had to explain to them, and then we eventually met, to just to be together and trying to get through it, really. And it was probably one of the most difficult things we've had to deal with. So Amie was, I know when someone talks about how someone has passed, and you always look on them favourably, but Amie was generally someone that lit up a room. She had a very infectious smile. She had a a really infectious laugh. She was really, really funny. She was really, really silly. There was a serious side to her, and I know that she did struggle with her own kind of demons, if you like, mental health wise. But she never really imposed that on anybody. She would always be there to help you, and you know, just put an arm around you if you needed it. And obviously we are, you know, our relationship with her was such a thing that she was like a younger sister, which is kind of why it hurts, I suppose, even more. Amie had lived with us for a period of time, and she'd been in and out of a few relationships in that time, and yeah, she was living with us when she met her current wife, and she got married literally 2 weeks before me and my wife got married, back in 2017. Unfortunately, the relationship with her wife had kind of soured, and they were in the process of getting a divorce. She'd been put through the ringer by the other half, and they literally only lived a few doors down from us, and we kind of lost, even though she was so close, we'd lost contact a little bit over the last couple of years, because for various different reasons, but mainly to do with the wife. That I don't think she liked Amie hanging around with us very much, to be honest. Perhaps we were a bad influence or something, but plus she was probably embarrassed because of the way she treated Amie. Was absolutely disgusting. You know, I've seen and heard things that is made us all very, very angry after the event, and even a few weeks before, we were chatting with Amie, and Amie was quite forthcoming with some of the things that had been going on, particularly in terms of getting into horrendous amounts of debt and all sorts of things. But that was being left behind. She was moving on. She had moved in with her brother, who also lives just down the road, and his wife. They were looking after her. Things were on the up. She was a coach for a local women's futsal team. She was just doing really, really well in life. She was just starting to get things back together. And as I said, she was on a date, you know, down the beach. It's called Dirty Chine. There's a nice restaurant down there, and it was just a bit further away from that, and the closing time of the restaurant would have about 11. She was unfortunately killed a little bit after that, so there weren't too many people around. So yeah, we attended the court hearing once they did catch the person that did it, and we were there for the sentencing, and it was a brilliant sentencing because he was given basically 40 years, which is great. It's not enough, obviously it never is, but to know that he's not going to be released until, and I don't think he will ever get released until he's in his 60s, because he was only in his 20s when this happened. So it's a waste of his life as well. It's crazy. Yeah, so bearing that in mind, another thing that happened, I was also made redundant again for the second time. I was made redundant back at the end of 2024, after working for a company for 12 months, and it was basically Christmas. Just found out I was made redundant, so I was like, brilliant. Started a new job, been there a year, and just got made redundant from that one as well, so good times. But I have found another job, and I do start next week. It's not a job I'm looking forward to doing, to be honest, because it's completely different to what I would normally do. Essentially, I normally do recruitment, but this is mainly because obviously I like the commission. this is a job without commission. It's basically a collections agent for a loan company. So talking to a lot of vulnerable people in dodgy financial situations, which I can do. And I do have a lot of empathy and sympathy for people in that situation. It's yeah, it is what it is. It's 5 days a week at the office, so which is I'm not used to. I haven't worked 5 days a week at the office since before COVID, so that's going to be fun. Luckily, my kids are a little bit older, a bit more self-sufficient, so you know, they don't necessarily need me here when they get home from school, particularly from September onwards. My youngest will be in year 7, so his older brother will obviously be, you know, looking after him. He's 13, nearly 14, so it's fine on that sense. But yeah, I just wanted to give a few accounts as to why I have been absent. I am feeling better. Cold is going. Mental health fog is kind of lifting a little bit. What have I been doing? I've been playing a lot of games and going to the gym. I've seen some really good videos from other people talk about how they feel loss and what kind of helps them. Big shout out to a chap called Lexington Gaming. The way you eloquently talk about the loss of your brother and like how you got through that, it's, mate, hats off to you. That's fucking amazing. I've also been watching a lot of videos from a guy called Kale, who it's not so much about loss, but how he's kind of grown from you know, having a YouTube and TikTok channels that basically support his entire lifestyle. So that's his whole job. He's been a massive inspiration, and I've been watching a lot of the Gebs 24. It's a woman who talks about gaming and collecting, and she's very much on it with the mental health stuff. And yeah, that's really helped as well. Watching some of her videos and some of the antics that she gets up to with the gaming markets and things like that. For me personally, going to the gym a lot has really helped. It kind of sets your mind on specific goals, personal goals about that you know what you want to achieve. So, and I am feeling stronger. I have lost some weight, which is always good. So yeah, that's been really good. In terms of playing games, I forgot how much playing games can give you so many different feelings. I think a few people have touched on it on videos that I've watched recently, Lexington, Gebs, etc. How nostalgia can be quite painful. You know, you look back at, you play like old Mega Drive games or PlayStation 1 games and things like that, things that you played as a kid, and you're immersed in it because you have such fond memories of playing these games, but at the same time it really hurts, and it hurts because I guess you kind of crave those simpler times, because being an adult fucking sucks. Sometimes it just really does, and I constantly fondly look back to sort of my late teenage years, early 20s, when responsibilities were not so much there, and just kind of wish that you could go back. But hey ho, but yeah, gaming's really helped because it just kind of focuses your mind on something completely different, and particularly like story focused, puzzle focused games, etc. That they kind of really help, and obviously music is massive, so I do listen to a lot of music. We went to a gig in Wolverhampton, which is quite a trek, but it was worth it. We saw Machine Head in the Civic Hall there, and it was such a great venue. I was really surprised, but yeah, it was great. The beer was cheap, so it was really happy with that. And yeah, music just kind of, it's on all constantly when I'm in the gym and you know, in the car, and you know, I sometimes just zone out listening to music anyway, and that just kind of really focuses your mind. So just wanted to explain a little bit about that, and obviously talk about Amie, because I miss her so much. If she was here, I know that she'd be you know, saying, "Come on, Gav, get up, just get on with it, you'll be fine." Give us a hug and go from there. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. I would really appreciate it if you could give me a follow, subscribe to my channel, like the video. Please obviously comment if you feel what you want to. That would be lovely. I love responding back to people, and hearing your own experiences and various other things. I'm going to do another video a bit later, probably focused around some gaming stuff, just because it's really distracting for me, and I like to kind of hear some of your stories on top of that in regards to, you know, things that you've picked up, etc. So yeah, thank you ever so much for listening if you made it this far. Love you all, and see you soon. Take care.